Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. Okay, we made it here. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Michele. How are you doing after 3 hours of television, Michele?
That was not as long as I expected it to be, but I will say I'm pleased that we got 2 full eliminations. Like, I was expecting that not to happen. So I'm not happy about all the outcomes necessarily. But I'm not, heartbroken. There was so many ridiculous things in these episodes. It's a lot to even think about right now. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too. And the Justice Crusader for Hughie is here. Matthew, how are you feeling?
I'm also really happy that we got 2 full episodes. Like, I'll take 3 hours if it means no to be continued. I was really nervous when TJ said it's going to be a male elimination. I was like, oh, damn, the vet is going to come at the end and it's going to be a to be continued, because he never said it's going to be a male or female elimination for the first 3.
I think he was
so I was
saying it,
nervous.
though, to button up the whole whatever part, control part.
Yeah, well, that's what I was hoping they would do all along, like just have it be a male or female. But when he actually said it, I was like, oh, okay, damn, like Jordan or Devin or whoever's going to show up at the end, and it's going to be to be continued, because I did think it was 2.5 hours, but we got
Well,
the
that's
full
where
3.
it's said everywhere, including on all channels and stations. So I was like, wait, it's not at a conclusive part here. Is it just going to like cut off and be to be continued? But then it did go on, but it was on different programming. So I had to be watching Ridiculousness. And that's how I watched the second half of the second episode. But we got 2 full episodes. Thank goodness. One course of business we have to take care of is we didn't name an MVP last week, I don't think.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I think for me last week, it probably would have been Kyland, in my opinion.
What did Kyland do? I don't remember.
Well, he
The
was the
kiss
one
thing.
that's like came up with the plan to like not split votes, which I think was pretty savvy. And ultimately, like, who went into the elimination again?
How do we not remember these things?
It's so long ago. I mean, we just had 3 hours, so it's hard to remember like 4.5 hours ago. But I was thinking I was like pretty impressed with. Also the scene with Melissa and Kyland, where like
kiss.
Yeah, where it was like
he was definitely featured a lot.
Yeah, he was featured. He had like the autism conversation with Melissa, which I think was handled pretty well.
And James's win wasn't that impressive to me enough to be.
Oh,
MVP.
right. No, he doesn't. No, he was gassed, so that wasn't that impressive. All right, I can give it to Kyland.
I don't want to anticipate the end of the second episode, but like it's fresh on my mind, and I will just say, Hughie, why didn't you pick James? Come on, he would have smoked him. Anyways.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, Hughie never seemed to like stop. I don't know. I just feel like James would have been too tired. But anyways, that's a story for later.
Story for later. You might not be able to tell.
I might not be here and I have to pop out early. So that's my thought about that.
Well, everybody is celebrating James's win, even though you didn't find it so impressive. And Nurys is thinking that she's playing a really, really great game. Do you guys think that she's playing a great game?
I mean, it's like she's definitely positioned well because of like the fact that she has a lot of numbers. I think like it's hard to say she's playing a great game or if she's just put in a great spot. The thing I don't like about like a format like this is like right off the bat, it's like people will say like, oh yeah, it's like half US and half international, which similar to the season of USA 2, where it's like, oh yeah, it's 70% like CBS people, 30% MTV or whatever. But the thing is, like the MTV people, and in this case, the US people, they all like know each other. And then the international people are just being lumped in together because they're not from the US.
So they're not necessarily tight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why is someone from Argentina going to be best friends with someone from the UK when they've never met? It makes no sense. And then like similar to the USA like CBS version, where it's like, yeah, these two people played Survivor 10 years apart from each other. They've never met. But like Tori Bananas Wes, you've all played with each other for 15 years. So I just think Nurys is in a very good position, and we kind of see that play out where they get their way.
Hi, Dabu. So Dabu says there's a lot of 38
Mhm.
people. Yeah, exactly. So Nurys is in a strong position by default. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's kind of like when you have a big alliance, you have so much power and so much control of what's going on in the game that like you don't really have to play that hard. And then anybody else that's playing hard, you immediately can attack them and being like, why don't you just trust in your numbers or trust in your alliance? And it's kind of like, well, I don't feel that solid in the alliance. I'm on the bottom. Like I want to do something for myself and kind of secure myself. But like the power in those alliances make them feel as though they have complete control over everything. So yeah, it's definitely a false sense of security, I would say. But she is in a good position. So James apparently isn't just a pretty face. Did you guys like his IG photos that they decided to insert there?
I thought it was funny. Yeah.
Like when I look at his face, I don't think you'd have as hot a body as he has. It doesn't correlate for me.
It's funny because everything he said in this episode, and I was just like, how does Moriah not see that her type is also bananas? Like she keeps talking about how bananas isn't normally her type. Oh, but James, he's just like so my type. They are the same archetype. Am I wrong? They are the same category.
I think the difference, I think it's a height thing. I think bananas isn't.
But they're the same type. They're the same type.
I swear, like James is kind of like a mixture of bananas and Fessy, who Moriah had flings with. Like she had flings with both them.
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
He has like the body of Fessy. Like he's big, tall, muscular, but like he has like that jokey personality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so next week I'm gonna see if I can put together like a baby or like a morph version of James and bananas to see if it looks like Fessy, or is that what I do? Oh no, Fessy and James to see if it looks like bananas. It might. It might. Hilarious. I like James a lot though. I haven't seen him that much, but like he does seem like a person that like I would want to hang out with. I wouldn't want to throw down. Like he's just like good times, good vibes, and I think the house needs people like him.
Apparently James is like a massive star. Like he's been on TV for like 10 years, like a bunch of different shows. And
well, he's on The Only Way is Essex, and that was a huge show. I remember when I first started watching it, I watched the first couple seasons, and like the people that were on that show became huge stars. Like if you've ever heard of Amy Childs, you've heard of probably what's her name? Not Emma Collins. Gemma Collins. She was on Celebrity Big Brother. Anyways, it just creates huge stars. It's another kind of reality show where they don't do anything but live their lives. And yeah, he was a star of that for definitely a decade. So
yeah, I mean, if you're a star, like if you're a reality star for 10 years, like you're doing something right. So
he has 1 million followers on Instagram.
I was gonna say, like I checked out his followers, like he's over 1 million. So
yeah, Towie is very big in the UK. But haven't we ever talked about vajazzling? Do you know what vajazzling is?
Yeah, I think you have mentioned it.
Yeah, vajazzling. It started with I think it was Amy Childs on The Only Way of Essex, and it was like a cosmetic procedure that you would bedazzle like a bikini line, like with jewels, like little rhinestones. So that was something that Amy did. I think Amy and maybe even Gemma did on
a trailblazer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big hit for a while. Moriah feels bad though about liking James because she still is seeing bananas. So I think that this is starting to feed into the storyline that's going to come out with Tori being like, big mistake, like you shouldn't have done that. But I kind of feel bad for Moriah because she's in this house. She doesn't have a label with bananas. Like, let her live her life.
Honestly, this whole storyline I actually love because finally, like, they don't always show it on the show, but bananas cheats on every single girlfriend he has. Always. All the time. There's no way that he is not sleeping with other people, especially if they don't even have any labels on their relationship. Like, she should not feel bad at all. And I kind of love that this is happening because it's just, I feel like he always has the women crying over him. And it's just like, she's like, I feel bad because like I don't really care that much about bananas. I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't know. I'm not like the hugest Moriah fan, but I was like, yeah, like I'm into this storyline.
Well, apparently, I don't know if we talked about it, but apparently the reason why he didn't end up doing the season is because he didn't want to be part of Moriah's storyline.
Yeah, I think that was like the speculation, and I think it's like adding up now. Like after tonight's episode, it makes sense. And like I do also think like if Bananas was put in a position where like he's in a physical elimination against James and he loses, like it's just so embarrassing. Like why does he
Oh my
want to be
god,
there for
he
that?
does not want to do
Like,
that at all.
Yeah, it's not worth it for the 50K he's gonna get when like he'll just be on season 40 and make double that. It's like you can wait a few months.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be embarrassed by like the guy that went out first on the challenge UK.
I do want to say so I just pulled this up as well because during the episode there was a little bit of Twitter beef going on with Moriah.
Corey?
No, not Corey this time. Moriah and Olivia, because Olivia was kind of in defense of Bananas a little bit in this episode, which I'm not surprised about because she's like seems like very like vet strong. But I'm just gonna read it out quick. There was a bunch, but I'll just read out one exchange. So Ravyn tweeted, "Olivia's talking all this shit," and Moriah said, "I should have trusted my intuition from last season, but I chose to keep quiet since it never aired." And Olivia said, "You know for a fact that this was at the beginning of y'all's relationship. Don't be so quick to judge." When that was one line in the conversation, "Slow your roll, girl. It's not that serious." And Moriah responded, "This is about more than your confessional, and you know that for a fact. I don't need to hear more of whatever flip-flop bullshit you're going to say, because I've literally heard from a lot of people slick things you've said and done towards me." And it went on and on from there. Check it out after, but they're going off on each other. So it's, people are not liking Olivia right now.
Okay, so when you understand though, maybe understand that what she's talking about, like in the beginning of their relationship, or what did that mean?
I guess like the beginning of the relationship with James, where
where she was having doubts or like saying that she would never do that.
Yeah, and then obviously like Olivia was kind of like, I like behind Moriah's back was saying, I don't think she should be doing this. And Nurys was like, why? Like they're not dating. Like she's not dating Banana. She can do what she wants, which I agree with as well. But obviously like Olivia has allegiances to maybe some other people.
Ooh, I mean, I feel as though like as much as like I liked Olivia when she was with Horacio, I didn't like her on Love Island.
No, me
and
neither.
so
Really?
Yeah, because I think if what I was feeling was correct on Love Island, it seems like she saw that her best friend Cache was getting all the shine, and so she faked being interested in the guy that friendship couple that Cache was coupling up with. They were staying safe in the villa, and then I think she went to the bottom and she ended up getting saved. And so then all of a sudden, to the guy that was her friendship couple, she was like, "Oh, I've been interested in you," and like totally started a relationship with the friendship best friend of Cache. And then Cache got dumped from the island, and Olivia went on to win the season with that guy that I don't think she was ever interested in. So it was pretty sketchy in my opinion. And even when I met Cash, I was like, "You were done dirty," and she's like, like she wasn't denying being done dirty. So I never really trusted Olivia fully. I kind of felt that she always has a little bit of an agenda. I was fine to support her in the game because I didn't really see that side of her in 38, but I always was kind of like hesitant towards, dying love for Olivia. And I'm sure it's coming out. Like she seems to end a lot of friendships, like these best friends that she has, and all of a sudden like they're enemies, right?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because that wasn't my impression of her as someone who didn't know her from Love Island, didn't see that season. Like I saw her as someone who was like nice and level-headed and like just a strong competitor, someone like a Kara, someone who's willing to just try anything and do stuff, right? And not really having the fear. But yeah, it's interesting to see this because like she's not friends with Nurys. I assumed it was something to do with Horacio that's going to come later. But then she also has beef with Moriah. And like, so it's kind
Like
of
right now she's besties with Michele, but let's see how long that lasts, right?
Yeah, and Michelle's always kind of like Switzerlandy, like tries to be kind of cool with most people when she can. So, yeah, I mean, it's bringing up questions for me for sure.
I think the thing about Olivia, and honestly everyone, is like it's easy to like someone when they're on the bottom and they're the underdog, but like it's hard for people to like people when they're on top because a lot of the time it gets to their head. Whereas like my favorite challengers and like reality
Fighting.
stars in general are like the people that I can still like when they're on top because like they're still providing drama, they're still like making the right moves. And they're also not like talking down to people necessarily. So like I think like Olivia was very likable last season because she was always the underdog, and like we wanted to see that uprise. And now that she is like in a more powerful position, she's like a little bit less palatable.
Palatable. Oh my god, you can't stand her.
Well, it's just like honestly, like same thing for like a lot of people. Like, I mean, Tori, for example, is like a big one where like everyone loved Tori on War of the Worlds because she was the underdog, like she was scrapping, like she was in eliminations. And now, like since then, for the most part, she's been like pretty safe and has gotten like a little bit annoying. Like the power that she always has is very annoying.
Same with
like,
Cara though, right?
Yeah, like Cara had this stage where like she was in so much power and everyone hated her. So like I don't want Olivia to be like that for like 2-3 seasons. Like I want to see like a mix where she can play with power, but she's not always in power. So that's what I think what everyone wants for every challenger. Like I don't want to see anyone just dominate every season because then they don't get enjoyable to watch.
100%. Not enjoyable and boring, and it's just like eye roll city. So Michele though decides to tell the boys, so that being Jay, Emmanuel, Ed, Callum, about Ravyn, and so how Ravyn was the one that informed Cierran about the plan that the UK guys were going to burn their votes on each other, blah blah blah. And Jay's happy that that Ravyn's going to be in the hot seat because then maybe they can push it to be a girls' day. I love seeing Chef Big T coming out here. Not coming out, but yet. But she was, she went to culinary school, and it seems like she enjoys cooking, and so she's making everybody these delicious steaks, hoping that feeding them well will keep her out of elimination. Do you think that this will work with these people?
Yeah, well, I mean, she wasn't going to be the target this time. Although I guess she could have been. I don't know, maybe. But it made me hungry for sure.
Yeah, I know. It's like, so that's like almost the first time we've seen food on the show.
Yeah, I just love noodles. That they're utilizing Big T like this. Like she's clearly the star of the show for as long as she's here. Like I don't necessarily think she's gonna be around the whole time because like she is someone that's easy to call out if you need to call someone out. But like they are getting their money's worth, and like she is like very clearly like the top dog here. And I'm glad that the producers and like the edit is showing that as well.
100%. She's definitely one of the gets for this season. So they want to utilize her as much as possible. If she's like, can I cook for everybody? They'll be like, absolutely you can. We'll make a segment for you.
I hope they paid her big bucks to show up.
Like she got a segment on both episodes tonight.
Yeah.
Major. It's about like major. Like you're right. Like she's the MVP of one of these eps, if not both.
So Hughie feels comfortable with Horacio because they're able to speak in Spanish to each other. And I actually really like Hughie, but I was like, is this a Hughie spike?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Immediately I was like, Nurys is gonna go for her man at some point. So so I immediately was like, Hughie's probably not gonna last very long because that's the only way for this to happen, because this is what happened last time too,
Well, Hughie has a boyfriend. She said it like later on the episode.
So never mind. Then.
It wasn't like a romantic thing, but I definitely was thinking it might have been when they were eating Big T's meal, where Hughie was just talking about how much Horacio's amazing. Oh, he's so nice.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of like, ooh, she must be get out of the picture because there's no way that Nurys was going to be able to swerve on in there if Hughie is so present in his like.
But yeah, I didn't think that anything was going on with them. I was just like, maybe something would have, but like if she doesn't seem like the type that would have necessarily done anything, but
no, just
it seemed like they had some sort of connection or whatever.
Definitely. And I like them together.
Yeah, I like them together too. I just like, I feel so bad for Jujuy. It's the second season in a row now where like she just has nobody to connect with. And like she had Horacio, that was it. But like clearly like her English isn't great. And she's like already an outcast, being the only person from her country and season there.
Hi, Jay. Jay's saying after Hughie left filming, she came out to find that her boyfriend cheated on her. Brutal.
She was gone for like a week and a half.
maybe they were quarantined for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
brutal. Oh, that's not great because she's such a kind person. And she not that anybody deserves it, but like
but like her whole storyline was like, yeah, you know what? I just want to like be here to prove that like nice people can do well. It's like, oh damn. And she leaves and like her boyfriend cheated on her. That's sad.
Yikes.
Hopefully we'll see her back sometime.
So at that table, Ravyn was noticing that like the 38 girls and Zara were leaving her out. What do you think about Ravyn, how she plays this game? Because like I understand if you already feel like you're on the outs, it's a little bit difficult to ingratiate yourself and feel comfortable being part of the group. But like, why isn't she better at just like hanging out? It's wild to me.
The reason I honestly think she's not better at it is like she didn't come from any reality show. Like she's never like she's never like been, I know she's like an actress or a model or whatnot, but like she's never been in like a show like this, like any sort of like non-scripted show. And then like last season she went home on episode 3, so obviously like she wasn't great last season. Like she got into some conflicts, and most of these other people, like even if it is only their second season, they've been on another show, so like they're used to like having to communicate with cameras around you and whatnot. I think like she's like very much a rookie. Like she's fresh meat, whereas like some of these other people have been on like rookies. Multiple shows. So
reality TV rookie.
Yeah, like I think that's like a big thing there. And like socially, like she's definitely not great, and like she makes a lot of fuck ups, but I think it is understandable. I'm also not sure, like, is she a fan of these shows, or like she just,
I don't know. I think that she was just like asked by Johnny to come on the show with her.
Yeah, it's like she was like Johnny's gym friend, and like they hooked up
or like times. he fire emoji'd her on her like workout pic on Instagram. So the challenge fan 2001 says that apparently Jujuy and Horacio were hooking up.
I feel like that's not true.
I don't.
Like they would have showed that for sure. Like,
are you just trolling? Where are your facts? Give us your receipts, please.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. Not with Jujuy.
Also, Horacio said in the episode today, like, hey, everyone's like hooking up and like linking up, but like I'm staying clean for now. And then they showed they panned to Nurys, like obviously as like a, hey, like we know what's coming. I definitely think like Horacio being Horacio, they would have definitely shown that or like referenced it.
Yeah.
Gamer Bev can be wrong sometimes. They're also muted, so I wouldn't have seen that tweet. You have them muted too, right, Matthew?
Yeah, I only like really follow them when it's like casting season. So yeah, I like to try to avoid in-game stuff. But they can be wrong. Like they, especially about like a hookup. Like how is Gamer Bev gonna know if someone hooked up one time in a challenge house?
Je sais pas. So everybody's getting in the hot tub, and we see Berna dancing, having a good time. And I was actually just thinking, like, I knew what was coming, but like Berna, like when she's relaxed, she's fine. Like when she's just there dancing, I'm like, I can hang out with Berna. Like she's all right. And then all of a sudden she thinks, I don't know if it's true or not, that Big T and Melissa are looking at her and giggling and laughing, and she took it as feeling bullied by them. From what you saw in the situation, how'd you, what not necessarily what side is, but how do you read it?
Well, it's hard to say. But I think, I don't know. I just think it was maybe not the best strategic decision in the game to
Call it out.
drunkenly, when you know the other people are intoxicated, to bring it up. You know, when you know that you people have told you that you do these types of things, to maybe take that moment and, like, even if it's true or not, like, use the information in a different way maybe. But that's just not her style. And that's why I think she's great on the show, because she'll always get into a fight by saying, I don't want to fight. You know, it'll always
So
still happen.
messy.
She is still messy, but, like, I don't know. It looked like it could have been, but it also looked like they were just kind of having fun with each other.
It's like
So
giggling.
it's hard. They're just giggling. Like, maybe they were. Who knows? It's really hard to say.
But like it could also be just like the gaze of the eye just goes past and like
Yeah.
they're laughing and like I mean I can also understand being on edge with like
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
like an outsider, and everything is going to be feeding whatever reality you want to be living in. So
Yeah.
so she decides to, I thought quite nicely, confront Melissa
Yeah.
and mention that she felt bullied. And Melissa goes from 0 to 100 in a split second, talking about the fact that she's not a bully. We see in her ITM that she was severely bullied when she was growing up and she had to change schools. So now we understand why she has so much bark. But
Mhm.
it was a little bit how Berna
Yeah.
came to her was definitely didn't warrant, in my opinion, the amount of attack that came at her.
But also bringing it up, like, when there's
Then
cameras right there, there's other people
That's true.
around.
She's gonna
Melissa
pop off
obviously
more.
was intoxicated in some kind of way. It seemed, it looked. This is, you know, she's triggered. Blah blah blah. It. What I love about Melissa though is, like, she'll bring the fight and she'll be irrational and she'll overreact, but she almost every time that I can think of will the next day be like, yeah, I overreact. You know, I was feeling emotional. These are the reasons why this is why I felt that way. And really, I don't actually feel, I was too harsh. She acknowledges it. She owns up to it. So you still get that drama, but I don't think she's a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, she ends up hugging her. Like, she comes around with people. She has a little bit more compassion, maybe. So I was fine with it, even though, yes, it was over dramatic for her to scream at her. Like,
it was
like,
a little bit
too much.
like chest
It was
out
too
and
much.
like I'm
Yeah.
like it's a little bit much. Matthew, as I think you're the resident Melissa stan, number one stan club. How did you feel about Melissa's reaction to Berna?
I loved it. I mean, she understood the assignment. Like she's here to, like, part of the reason she's here is to, like, bring good TV. And, like, I don't want Melissa back to be, like, 100% calm and, like, rational all the time. Like, I want to see, like, someone fiery. Like, I want to see, like, Melissa of old, which is, like, what we kind of got, like, a little bit lesser, because, like, the Melissa of old probably would have laid hands on Berna, which, like, she has done before with Kayla. Like, she's gotten kicked off a show. So I think, like, being a few years older, like, being a mother has, like, calmed her down a bit. But, like, she's not going to change her stripes completely. Like, she's still going to be fiery. We saw it last week. Like, she got very emotional and, like, heated with Kyland and then calmed down. Like, again, with Berna, like Michele said, like, she got very heated. Like, yeah, she, like, probably overreacted, which was amazing for TV. And then she calmed down. It's like, okay, like, she can calm down and, like, fix her game, but, like, she's still going to give us entertainment. So to me, like, it was perfect. Like, that's exactly what I want from her.
So Corey wants to keep Berna safe. So we're learning that Berna does have more friends than it appears. And then also Emmanuel is comforting Berna, and he's kind of saying, like, hey, you gotta chill. Like, maybe, like, don't go and confront these people right now. Like, just start making friends with people, make people like you. Like, you don't have to call out everything all the time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, yes, it's great to nip things in the bud, but, like, also there's a time and a place. And sometimes you can just, like, let it go and not allow it to hurt you.
I thought it was good advice by Emmanuel. And, like, he also gave her good advice when, like, they were talking about, like, yeah, if you're voted into the elimination, well, I think this was the same conversation. It's like, if people come up to you and ask, like, who do you want to go against? just like tell them like you don't want to go in and like make them trust you, which I thought was great advice too. Cause like so far, like Jessica, Chauncy, when they felt like they were going in, like they did all the wrong things. And Berna probably would have done that too. But Emmanuel did like calm her down and like give her sage advice. So
yeah.
I thought it like pretty impressive by Emmanuel there.
Oh my God, you guys have Emmanuel stands all of a sudden?
He's still my second least favorite guy on the cast. But
lies. Like what, beside Corey Lay?
Yeah, Corey Lay last, and then Emmanuel second last. I think.
Really? There's nobody that you dislike more? Who else is there?
I don't really like any of the guys left now that Hughie's gone.
Kyland is not great.
No, I like Kyland more than Emmanuel.
Yeah, in the challenge. I mean, Emmanuel isn't really annoying me this season, but like I'm like he's just sort of just there for me still.
The question is now, like, I don't even know who my favorite guy is. Like, that's the hardest part now that Hughie's gone. For me, it's probably Callum, just because he's so chaotic and messy.
Yeah, I mean,
you love a chaotic king.
That's really hard to say. With Hughie gone, it's almost like I didn't even realize how much of my favorite he is. But we're not even at that episode yet. But still, yeah.
The guys are like very boring this season. The girls are providing, but the guys are.
The girls are providing. I don't even know what my favorite guy is. Truly, I'd have to think about that.
Hi, Sudani. So Sudani says that Nurys mentioned on Twitter that the fight was actually started because she told her not to dance in the hot tub holding the speaker because it could fall in the pool, and then she started cussing.
Wait, like who? Someone told Berna that?
I guess so.
Yeah, Nurys and Melissa told her like, "Hey, like, put the speaker away because we don't want you to drop it in the pool and like electrocute us," which is pretty reasonable. And then Berna got like really defensive.
Okay, so they didn't show that part. So
they showed it as if it was like Big T and Melissa, like, but it was really Nurys and Melissa.
Interesting.
Which like also makes me think like maybe like they don't want to put Nurys in like a bad light this early.
Right. But I don't think that. Well, maybe how she would come across could be bad.
Yeah, maybe. Like if Nurys was getting loud too.
Yeah.
They want to save the Nurys fighting for Olivia, I think.
Oh, yeah, because there's going to be so much of that. Like, there's going to be so much.
Horacio is Sophie's second favorite guy.
Yeah, okay. I actually like forgot about him when I was thinking about people who could be my fave. And that tells you everything you need to know. He's boring.
I like Callum and James too, Willie.
Yeah,
but I would put more money onto him to like win.
Oh yeah, like Horacio's like the best suited. Like, but he realistically like there's nothing wrong with him. He's like super nice and like athletic, but like he is pretty boring.
So boring. So boring. So we get to the daily. It's called Control Tower, and it's actually quite confusing. So basically, there's 16 buggies. There's 8 drivers and 8 passengers. How's it 16 buggies though? It can't be. 16 people in buggies.
This daily was horrible.
There's 8. This challenge, when they explained it, I was like, I do not understand what's going on. And
I started writing it down.
I was just kind of watching, being like, okay, they're doing some numbers. They're figuring out numbers. They're running up the numbers. Michele is doing a good job at delegating. That's all I took from it. Like, I was like, wait, what? The passengers do nothing?
No, well, they do something if they have to get out of the car and move the
plus or minus sign?
Exactly.
Okay.
This was the most annoying daily. What I did for this daily is I pulled my phone out and I scrolled through TikTok for 20 minutes. It was so boring.
It was boring, but I was happy that they did something. I feel like it was something different, and then they just like made it easier so that they can win. But also, like it didn't seem like they were necessarily going to win.
Right. I mean, like they got the first one pretty quickly. They need to get 4 equations. They're each going to be 10,000 each, and if they get all 4 within the 30-minute time limit, they're going to get an extra $10,000. So it'd be a $50,000 daily. And basically, they have 2 people, which was Kyland and Ed. They're on the puzzle. Which is kind of like a number addition Sudoku, pretty basic math, but they had the numbers that they had to kind of put up to solve the equation. Relay that number to Michele and the other people at the tower who are directing people in the cars that had numbers on the top of their cars.
Yeah.
And then they had to put their cars and park it in the appropriate spot to just write out the equation. So I think it would probably be interesting to play. It just didn't read very well on TV.
Yeah.
Like, to be
Truly.
a participant in that, it might be fun.
It was
I'm
very
sure.
boring to watch.
I'm sure it would be very fun to do. And like, it's like, hey, like this is an escape room. Like that. Yeah, that would be a fun escape room. Like an outdoor
I don't want to
escape
watch
room.
anybody do an escape room.
Yeah. Also, like the fact that I also don't care at all if they get another $50,000. Like at the end of the day, to me, that means nothing. Yeah, Michele did good. Like Ed did good. People did good here. But like when there's zero stakes for the audience and it's an elimination that has 15 parts that make no sense and it lasts 20 minutes, like what are they doing? Like if there was power involved, that's one thing.
Like it's not like something where if someone does, like someone loses, they're going into elimination, or like they're up for elimination, or
just to get money
and have immunity. There's no immunity, and so it really has no bearing on what's happening for the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
so that also makes it less interesting to pay attention. They're only being like, "Oh, this person performed badly." We're deciding. But
it's like it's just
at what driving
they don't
car.
like
it. Yeah,
they need to change the format of the dailies because once the vets come in, presumably next week. Like, I hope that they change the format because, like, this is just not it. Like, nobody cares if they win an extra $10,000 or $20,000. We're not even going to remember in 3 months when the season ends.
That they got $500,000 in the end. Like, what they do, they don't. Like, I don't care.
The best part about the challenge is like seeing people have to make decisions when they're in power and like fuck people over or make an enemy. Like, we're not seeing that here. So just like give us like a 5-minute daily or give us something very simple or just change the format, please.
Just change. I think they're just trying out something and they learned that it wasn't going to work. They probably were like, oh, we're watching this ourselves and it's boring and it's not, the audience hates this format. So let's pick up the pace here and just like get to the chaos stage so we can break this format. That's probably why they amped up this double episode this week, because it was clearly not in the schedule, right? This was a last minute decision. So they're trying to probably just like panicking because the numbers are so bad.
They announced a double episode on Monday. It was like Monday night. They said that there was a double episode.
It's like,
yeah,
it's always scary when it's kind of like a clearance sale, you know, like what's wrong? You just gotta get rid of it. Get rid of the product.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyland was having a problem with one of the second puzzle, so he switches out with Jay. Jay was able to get it pretty quickly. I love hearing Hughie talking with Horacio, and Horacio saying that she really helps him have fun. I'm like, okay, Hughie is going home this episode. If he's talking about how she's such a good person and how she teaches him how to have a good time and have fun, I'm like, she's done.
Yeah.
They get to the third puzzle. They get the third puzzle pretty easily, and the fourth puzzle pretty quickly as well. So they do end up getting $50,000 for this daily that we didn't care about so much. But TJ wants them to go out and have some fun tonight. Do you think TJ really means for them to go out and have some fun, or is he just like saying some lines?
They're telling them shit. They're like, tell them.
I think like production wants them to be messy. Like TJ doesn't care, but like I think that they truly do want they want to show the party scenes because like these people are all like very messy. Like most of them are single. Most of them like are or honestly, it's a very attractive cast overall. So like, I do think they want them to like go out, have fun, hook up, because that is like something that's been missing the last few seasons. So I do think it is genuine, probably not from TJ, but from like the show in general. I do think, they want them to party and have fun.
And so Jay thinks that because of the fact that there is nobody that really messed up, they won all the money, that it's going to be strictly a social vote. And I don't know. I kind of don't know if I like that it's just a strictly social vote. I don't like when somebody makes a mistake and they become in the hot seat. But like, I think I need to have someone in power. I think you're right, Matthew, because like it just ends up being ganging up on a person, and like who's going to be it? Who are we going to gang it up on? And like, there's just no numbers to be able to stop like people from ambushing one person. It's just kind of like as soon as your name is on the list, like you can't really get out of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You can't protect yourself by winning the daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I think would actually be kind of a cool twist? Like if they wanted to do this format for the daily, I think like something that would have been cool would be, all right, it's a female elimination. One female is designated as the leader of the daily. If the whole team completes the daily,
They get some
they get
power.
the power to nominate someone.
Mhm.
If they don't, they're in an elimination.
Give it.
I think that would be cool because then it's like, all right, there's this
Are you gonna
strategic
step
element
up?
of like who's gonna step up. If you step up, you get the power, and then also like if you don't, like, you're screwed. And then like also like if you want to put the person at the bottom in power, you're also trusting them to win the daily, which in
Yeah.
turn gives you money. So like that
But
to
if
me
the
would be
person
more
at the
interesting.
bottom is someone that you think is the weakest link, though, and then you put them in, then it kind of like they can't save themselves really from like they could easily just throw the challenge or whatever. Like
Right,
I
but
think
then you're costing everyone money. Like, yeah, you could throw the challenge, but you're costing $50,000 to the team.
yeah, I mean, I think we still need to workshop it a bit,
Yeah,
but
well, I just think that's better than
it's
like
better.
nothing.
It's better. We need somebody to have power. Melissa, as Michele mentioned, apologizes to Berna. They kind of hug it out. She kind of calmly says, like, bullying is triggering for me. I've been bullied before. When you said that, it just made me, react. And so she was quite rational, and Berna was accepting of what she had to say. And they seemed to come around, have a sort of an understanding. So I'm hoping that maybe Berna can build more bridges because I don't want to see
Mhm.
her ostracized or feeling ostracized and then gets thrown down and goes home. Like I do want her to have a better experience than that.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
don't want to see like the same storyline every episode where Berna just like freaks out and like has like these misunderstandings and then makes amends. Like we don't need to see this for like 10 weeks straight. Like I hope
No.
there is like an arc there where
Mhm.
like she does like either calm down or like goes home. I don't want to just like keep seeing this over and over again.
Yeah.
No, it's not fun. Not fun. So it's club night, and I'm like, there's a lot of hoo-hooey this episode. I'm like, they're just getting all the hoo-hooey footage and putting it in the episode because her time is coming up. We see Callum and Michele kissing. She likes it. Is this where she's talking to the confessional person? Really likes Callum. Like, I think she has a crush on him.
I thought they were like throwing
Well,
him under the bus.
yeah, I felt like they were throwing him on the bus. They kept asking him, like, but it's your girlfriend. And
Well,
he's
but
just like,
okay, so maybe that part, but just kind of like the giggling with him and like I don't know. I feel like it was kind of flirty as well.
Oh, I was getting vibes that they were like trying to make a joke out of him. Like they were trying to
yeah.
turn him into like a punchline. That's what I got. That's the vibe I got.
Or maybe it
Yeah,
was
me
James
too.
that he made them laugh. I don't know.
James made
Anyways,
them laugh at
maybe
one
it's
point
James.
for
I'm
sure.
thinking is one of these Brit boys.
But yeah, it's just it's annoying because he's not even like trying to come up with any kind of excuse or lie or anything, but then he's still doing the thing and he's acknowledging it and being like, I have these feelings and doing these things in front of the camera and in the confessional, and then just being like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a plan. Like he's not saying the other person isn't his girlfriend.
Or he's gonna break up
He's
with
just like,
them.
yeah,
or...
at one point we weren't together, but then we reconnected. And you're calling, like you called her. We saw you have the phone call like last week or whenever it was. And it's annoying. That's what bothers me about Callum. Is like I just like it's like annoying that he's not just trying to do something about it or just being like, yeah, I don't give a fuck or something. Instead, he's just kind of like avoiding anything, but then still doing the bad thing. I don't know.
He's a
I
mess.
don't know.
Matthew, you do know. So you've seen the most recent episode of Love Island Games, correct?
No, I'm like 3 episodes behind because I don't have Crave anymore, so I
How
have to
dare
like
you.
wait for it to come on like illegally, or like I watch at my mom's place like on the weekend. So I'm gonna check after this if like the episodes have gone on to like streaming. If not, I'm probably not gonna watch till Friday.
Okay. Well, I could also help you out, but we'll talk about it later.
But I wanted to say about Callum. Do you think he'll tell Michele during the season, or she won't find out until after?
I think
I don't-
after.
I think after.
Do you think
I
she's gonna find out once the season like wraps?
Well,
filming?
I think there's going to be some sort of conversation because I think we've seen an earlier preview where she will hear something about it, but I think he'll deny the truth. I don't think he'll actually tell her everything.
So he's gonna
Or-
pull a bear. He's gonna pull a bear. with
Yeah,
him.
sort of like
It's
ugh,
my cousin
yeah.
or my sister. It's his girlfriend.
yeah.
Don't worry, Mary. I've not seen Love Island Games tonight or The Amazing Race tonight. So I do not want any spoilers either, please. So no spoilers in the chat, please. Or
Yeah,
of Survivor either. I only saw a bit of Survivor.
Yeah, do not. I have not watched Survivor yet. I'm not going to look at any of these things and don't post any spoilers.
Well, nothing's come out. Like
Okay.
nothing's happened.
Whatever.
But it's good just to have a little bit of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
reminder.
yeah.
Berna and Emmanuel have another conversation. He talks about how she needs to make people like her and be friends. This might have been the time when he said to her, if they're going to ask you who you want in there, just be like, I know I want to work with you. Like, who do we want to put in there? Like, and so sound advice, agreed. Ravyn and Corey are really getting along. He's a Leo, she's Aquarius, and she says that if he wasn't gay, she'd be into it. What do you think of that coupling, Corey and Ravyn? If he was straight, I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I don't remember hearing that, but
Yeah,
I remember that
Yeah.
part. It makes
Oh,
sense
yeah.
that he's a Leo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see
special
that.
Leo.
I
With
can
that
definitely see
stupid,
that.
like that braid that he has. Usually, sometimes Leo have very defining hair because like it's their mane. So if somebody has like crazy hair, I would think of them. Usually, I'm like, you're gonna have some Leo placements in there. Likely. So Ravyn does apologize to everybody for her move, kind of letting them know that she wasn't trying to stab them in the back. She was just trying to look out for a friend. I think that if she was liked more, that this would have been enough, right? Like
It wasn't bad. Like she didn't make things worse.
right.
And I kind of expected her to make it a lot worse. And so, I don't know, I was mildly like not impressed, but I was like, all right.
Sorry, just looking at Dabu here. It's like, ain't no way that man fessed up. Michele is finding out like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, she'll definitely find out before like the rest of like she definitely found out after filming ended.
Yeah.
But like I tend to agree. Like I feel like she didn't know for sure until like one or both of them went home.
Yeah.
Poor Michele. Her picker's not great either. So Jay does warn Michele that Callum is smart. Is Jay getting jealous?
I
She gets to
mean,
be like, you're my number one. You're always gonna be my number one.
he doesn't.
Like,
I don't know.
Jay
Maybe
thinks
a little bit. Maybe a little bit's underneath, but I don't think that's his like only motive behind it. I don't know.
Well,
It
he's
could
talking
be.
about, like,
He definitely
he's
has
the
ego.
number one. You know, like Callum's the
Yeah,
number one.
but-
He's the leader. Like we got to come for him. Like, and making her be like, yeah, you're my number one, Jay, always, no matter what.
Yeah.
I also think like Michele like does like she'll like find a guy on these shows, but like I don't think it would impact her loyalty to her people. Like,
No.
I still think she would 100% choose Jay over Callum
Yes.
if it came down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially because Callum is UK.
Like I feel
Mhm.
like Michele is like pretty loyal for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
She's messy, but she's loyal.
Well,
Yeah,
she'll be
loyal
loyal to
us.
Jay. She's not loyal to people that she is not loyal to, but the people that she's loyal to, she's loyal to. That's what you gotta be.
Moriah's talking about Berna with Colleen, talking about how she's a great competitor, but she would fight a wall. But yeah, it's true. She would fight a wall, but I think it is because she had like a harder upbringing that she always felt like she was like ready to fight. And I don't think she just has really had any good friends that didn't maybe betray her or like stab her in the back or something. Cause like she's just so on edge when people haven't necessarily done her any wrong yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Poor girl. So we get to the deliberation. Horacio starts off by congratulating everybody for winning the money at this daily. Now let's get to business. Corey, He's really been annoying me. I think it might be because of his Twitter beef with Big T, and then also him like doubling down on what he says about Big T, but then doesn't want anybody to come for him for not being an ally to Big T because it's her coming out episodes. Like, how are you guys feeling about Corey Lay? Because as soon as he started talking, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, not good. The guy is like, he's so annoying because like he talks his talk on Twitter, and then like in the game he's like kind of lame, but like he only like starts beef with women that are like weaker physically. Like he starts beef with Big T and Zara. Like those are the people he's starting beef with. And like on Twitter, like he starts beef with today with Melissa, like last year with Michele. Not to say like Michaela's weak, but it's just like, are you ever gonna start beef with a dude? Like you're just picking on women that have no allies or less allies in the game. Like we get it, you're in a position of power. But then like when Corey Lay like goes on podcasts and like on Twitter and says like, I would never vote for Hughie because like LGBTQ is underrepresented on reality TV and on the challenge. And then like meanwhile, Big T came out on the season he was on, and since the season ended, he's been coming for her like over and over again on Twitter when it's like, hey, like not only are you going after her in the game, now you're going after her on Twitter, knowing that you're also saying you would never go after someone that's LGBTQ because they're underrepresented. And like you're talking in confessionals, like there's not a lot of queer Black people on reality TV. Okay, well now there's two of you on the same cast, and you're
coming for one
you're
of them.
attacking her over and over again, both on and off screen. It's just like it doesn't sit well with me, and like I don't know, like I'm happy to be proven wrong if like later in the season he starts going after dudes and like starts fighting with dudes. I just don't see it happening.
Well, I think he kind of comes from the mentality that men are strong, women are weak, right? It's like kind of what he was saying in like all those challenges, like you're weak. But Mary here thinks that Corey's playing the villain. Do you think he's playing the villain, or that's just the way he is?
I think he's like, there's elements to him understanding that he wants to have relevancy. And it's not that I hate every single decision that he makes, but he has an air of superiority this season that is like frustrating to watch. And yeah, the fixations he has, and then the Twitter stuff is just an eye roll to me. So yeah, not impressed, just not impressed. And he had a lot of like, I don't know. Yeah.
Like I don't like when someone is like punching down. Like he's just like punching down on people with no power and like that are weaker physically. Cause like he knows in a future season, if he gets a call back and like Big T is there, like, yeah, Big T is realistically not going to win a season of the challenge. Like we all know that. Like same as like last time when he was on with Hughie and he had beef with Hughie, like fans aren't dumb. Like we know who has no shot of winning. And like, unfortunately, like Big T will never win a challenge most likely. But like, I like when people are messy and like start shit with people that are capable players. Like if I would love it if Corey was being messy and like taking shots at Horacio because he thought Horacio could beat him, but like he's never going to do that. Like people that are messy on Twitter, like Jemmy, Amanda, like they're messy towards people that are better than them at the show. Like Amanda goes after Tori on Twitter, and clearly we all know Tori is better than Amanda at the challenge, but like Amanda's still taking those shots and it's fun. But like Corey is he's just punching down, and I don't love to see that. When
yeah,
it's like,
maybe that's what it is.
Downey's saying here is right. Is like he's acting like the villain, but wants to be treated like he's not. I think this is the right, because he's like, oh, not me. Who me? Like it's like, yeah, you like stop pretending like you're not the one that's like saying shit or causing shit. So some people are kind of misunderstanding what you're saying. If you want to clarify, so Willie's kind of saying that women are not weak. There are a lot of strong women like Zara and Nurys, a lot of strong women in this cast. You're not saying that they're not strong women, but it's saying that they would not be able to take Corey Lay in a physical challenge, right?
Did I say that?
No, you'd said that like he's punching down.
Oh no, I just mean like in terms of like positioning in the game, like Zara doesn't have allies in the game. Like if Corey Lay was going after Nurys and Olivia, who have power in the game, that's a different story. But like to see like the big strong dude going after people that have no power, it just like feels like forced drama. I don't think like Zara is weak like physically. Like I know she's a great with endurance. She could probably beat Corey in a final, but like position wise,
I think that's actually even what he said.
Yeah,
that she would win in a final.
Yeah, I like no. By no means am I saying that they're like weak physically. I just mean like
position. They are though. Like there's parts of them like that wouldn't be able to take Corey Lay in a physical challenge as well.
Like
though,
Big T is like someone that's like weaker physically. Obviously, like Zara is like obviously.
Yes, he's picking people that is going to have less backlash for him strategically in the game.
Yeah,
in his mind,
and he's not scared of them.
He's not starting a fight with with people who he sees as well positioned. Zara is not in the worst position, but as you said, she doesn't have the same level of relationships with people.
Yeah, like Corey is a fan of the show and like he's like a smart guy and he knows like, hey, in future seasons, like Olivia is going to have allies, Nurys is going to have a lot of allies, and like they are also strong players. Like they could win dailies. Like I don't want to fuck with them because like they are powerful players, but like someone like Zara is like an unknown to most of them right now, and she doesn't have many allies. So like if I'm going to go after someone, going to be her. Like if I'm going to go after someone, let's go after Big T. It's not like, but no.
Little does he know that Big T has the entire Twitter fandom behind her.
I don't.
You can't dislike Big T.
Yeah,
come on. Like she's so likable.
But like if it's coming across as me saying like they're like weak physically, that's not what I mean. Like
no.
And I also like you guys all know I love Big T. I love Zara. I mean, not as much as Big T, but like Big T is one of my favorites, and I would love for her to like have a ton of power and like take out all these dudes, but like we realistically know like she's not the type of person that's going to win 5 dailies in a season. And
it's kind of like the end of Big Brother where you have all these dudes that have all these physical challenges that these 6-year-old women can't win. You know, it's
don't remind me of that. I need to pop off, everyone, but
see you next week, Michele.
I'm looking forward to watching the rest of this tomorrow.
on your way and download
on my way in, to work. Yes. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye. So in the deliberation, Nurys actually, we hear that she wants Ravyn to stay. Like as much as she's annoyed by Ravyn, didn't like the move that she made, she knows that Ravyn is a number for her, and so she doesn't want to be eating away at her own number. So I'm like, okay, that's smart, Nurys, because I was worried that they were going to all start eating each other already, and then like put themselves in a bad position. So it's good that she wants Ravyn to stay, I think. I thought that Ravyn's apology was good, but James didn't think that it was. What was your thoughts on Ravyn's apology here?
No, I thought she like handled herself like fairly well. I mean, it was like definitely like to this point like the best performance in a deliberation, and I thought she did okay.
Okay, Jorge doesn't understand. So Jorge says, I don't think I can agree with you. Matthew Big T is very popular and very good socially. All the women that you mentioned have their strengths, so he's not kicking any weak women.
No, I mean, it's hard to say like position-wise, like Big T is in a good position. Like
she got thrown in.
Yeah, like clearly like she's been talked about as a target like from the beginning of the show. Like we know that like she's not on great terms with like Michele, who has a ton of allies. I definitely would say
she's also on Team UK, and I think that Team USA has more power.
Yeah, and I agree. Like Big T is very popular, but like we've seen like time and time again, like she's been on 4 seasons now. Like she gets put into quite a few eliminations, and like she is viewed as someone that is like weaker. Unfortunately, again, and then yeah, I mean, Big T is the one he's like really going after, like social media wise. And I just think like if Big T was someone
Was
like
Tori
was Tori or Kara, like someone that's like very like physically strong and like could win
as
dailies,
well insulated
as well as insulated, like he would
production
not be going
darling.
after them.
Like if he knew how much of a production darling Big T was, maybe he'd take a step back. But I think that I don't think he realizes that Big T is likable. Jorge just doesn't think he understands your definition of weak. Having power in the game, I think is where you're kind of coming from.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. That's basically what I mean. Like if the roles were reversed and like Big T had an alliance of 15 people or 12 people or whatever, and Nurys had 0 or had 3 people she was working with, like would Corey Lay be going after Big T then, or would he be going after Nurys? That's what I mean by weak, not like physically. Like, I mean, again, like I don't think Big T is like the most physical player, but like I don't think that necessarily matters. I think it's all about the position.
100%. And I think that it could be very easy for, like, Corey could choose somebody. She's called Big T because she's actually really little, so she's also in stature. She's a small person. And so I just think that he feels that he has power in more way than one over Big T. And that's why he's kind of picking on her on social media. It's ridiculous though, to be honest.
Yeah. Like we'll see, like if Corey Lay is on next season, like let's see if Corey Lay goes after Tori or Bananas, or CT, like, is he going to go after them? Like, I'll tell you now, he won't.
He's going to be kissing their butt for sure.
Yeah, he feels like that kind of guy where like he's on the season with the vets and like he is going to do everything in his power to be like one of their lackeys.
Oh man, when the vets, oh my god, I don't even want. Who do you think he would call out of all the vets? Like you'd call out Devin, right?
Like to go against?
Yeah.
I don't even think no, I think he would call out like Brad.
Brad, I think, is just scarier than.
Yeah, but like I think like he just would want to fit in with like Devin's crew like so badly that he wouldn't want to wrong him. And like Brad is kind of like random at this point,
I guess, but like I don't know. Brad is, I think, a little bit more scary than Devin, but I guess if he wants to be positioned better in future seasons. So Berna does mention that like she's kind of in the hot seat, her name's been floating around, and that she has been feeling closer to everybody in the group, and that she wants to stay. And everybody actually was agreeing with this, and so I'm happy that like a little bit more time, she's getting a little more comfortable. She's not having her back up against the wall, like she's starting to fit in a little bit. But Nurys kind of thinks it's a little bit too little, too late. But she was giving some understanding to Ravyn and about Ravyn, like what she did, why she did it. So it doesn't seem like Nurys is a fan of Berna still. At all. So the girls decide after the deliberation that they're going to burn a vote. Now, why do you think? I don't even understand why they're bothering to do this. Because they don't want to like call someone out.
Like I guess like you don't want to. They didn't want to call out someone else in case
make them
like
mad.
Yeah, make them mad. I don't know. I don't like it. That's what I kind of liked about the USA season. How it was like secret voting. I do like that. I think much more. Because this, it's like, yeah, like everyone's just gonna burn if it doesn't matter,
or they're going to just like copy the person next to them, so it's like safety in numbers.
Yeah, I really do love a secret voting. I think that is like the optimal voting method.
Absolutely optimal. So Corey Lay is also obviously annoyed that he's hearing that the girls are doing. Well, they actually told him. They came up and told him that this is what the girls are doing, and the guys just like it doesn't really affect the guys because they're just going to vote for who they want to vote for, and the girls are going to all burn. And so then she'll just choose who they want to choose. I don't like. I mean, I get it. Like, I wish that everybody's vote was their own vote. I understand why Corey was annoyed, but like, it's not that big of a deal. Like the fact that he's like threatening, well, if you're going to give us all this power, then maybe we're going to flip it on you.
I actually kind of liked when Corey said that, to be honest.
He's annoying though.
Yeah, he's definitely annoying, but like I did like that because it's like it is true. Like, hey, like if you guys are gonna like fuck around with like 10 votes and like you're just gonna throw your votes randomly, like all it takes is like 5 guys coming together and saying like, all right, well, if they're gonna do this, like let's take a shot at someone bigger. So
I mean, that would have been a good, like, fun, but like he would have done it to Zara, which is annoying. I'm like,
yeah, like it definitely would have been like annoying and risky because like Jay was kind of right where he said like, yeah, you don't really want to piss off like every woman in the house.
Debbie says, episode 1, girls don't want the guys to have power. Now they give it to them with burn votes, huh? Whose idea was the burn votes?
I don't remember, but like to me, like the worst part about that was like if you can get every girl in the house to agree to burn votes, like why not just get every girl in the house to agree to vote for a dude? Like,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, if you're gonna...
they're all in agreement on a plan. So like why not just like, hey, like why don't instead of 2 of the 11 of us being in danger, why don't we all just vote for a dude and like make them go into elimination? It's like kind of like straightforward, right?
I thought it was bizarre because like that's kind of like even in Survivor, you know, like you split votes and stuff like that in case an idol's played, or you know, in Big Brother if you throw a hinky vote, like it's just I think they should have used that as an opportunity when you know where all the votes are going. You could use that information to take out whoever you want to take out. And so, as much as like I find Corey to be really annoying, that he's like kind of threatening them. They're his like, well, I could do whatever I want with it. If you're going to be threatening it, he should have kept his mouth shut and just did it, in my opinion, and just like concoct some sort of plan. And then I'd be like, okay, he's here to play.
Yeah.
Instead of like just kind of threatening it and then not making anything happen. And it's just kind of annoying.
I was kind of hoping like he was going to do that and like flip the vote on Zara. Like I do like Zara, but I think it would have been very interesting, especially to put Zara in the elimination because like she clearly has like ties to the international people and she like seemingly is working like decently well with some US people.
Who would she have called out then?
Yeah, I feel like probably I don't think she would have called out Ravyn if
Ravyn's
she saw
too big.
Yeah, because like it looked like a headbanger. Maybe she would have just called out Hughie as well. I don't think she would have called out Big T because
no, she wouldn't call Big T. I don't think. Because Big T is still quite sturdy, and Zara's very slight. Like maybe she'd go. She's in alliance with Nurys, but do you think she'd just like maybe take her chances with Nurys?
I don't think so. I feel like like Hughie is just like an easy person to call.
I guess yeah, she's not really attached to anybody.
Yeah,
that would have been okay to watch, I guess.
Yeah.
It would have been shocking, and like I would like to see the aftermath of that, though.
Oh yeah, well, it would have been better. It would have been great TV, and like Corey like talks like he wants to make good TV. That would have been great TV.
Colleen, maybe, yeah. She's kind of in with the 38 crew, so maybe not. If Zara's were, I think Zara's in alliance with her. Oh right, so Jay, wait, what is this the vote? Hold on. So yeah, since they're relinquishing their power by burning the vote, he's considering flipping the vote. And I was wondering if he's actually going to get it done, but no. So I think these are the votes. So Jay votes for Ravyn, Colleen votes for Emmanuel, Kyland votes for Ravyn, Cierran votes for Ravyn, Asaf votes for Ravyn. Pretty much all the guys are voting for Ravyn.
Yeah.
And then Zara voted for Cierran, Michele voted for Callum, Berna voted for Asaf, Big T voted for Corey, and TJ calls them out, saying like, hey, so what's going on here? And Corey, of course, has to pipe in and being like, yeah, like I don't really believe in this, but yeah, they're burning votes. And I was like, he didn't really ask you, Corey. This might bugs me. But Big T, I think she did fess up to it, right? I think it was her. Olivia voted for Ed. Nurys voted for Jay, Moriah, James. It's like every single girl voted for a different guy.
Yeah,
and then
they did the Tory strategy from USA too, or I think they just picked out of a hat, right?
I don't think they picked out of a hat because
no, I think they did. Like Nurys was like writing names down. They're like, oh, we're all just gonna like pick a name, and
that's too convenient though. That Moriah picked James, Melissa picked Kyland, Ravyn.
Yeah. I think
Horacio, who you picked, Horacio. You mean from that group? Maybe.
Well, I think Nurys just like wrote down, like, I don't think they actually picked out of a hat, but Nurys just wrote down like, okay, this is who everyone's gonna vote for, and like obviously they did it in like a fun way where like people like voted for the person they were hooking up with or whatever. But I think it was just like, yeah, like we're all just gonna randomly put our vote on like this person, this person, this person. Yeah, TJ didn't like that.
But Ravyn does like vote for herself because she doesn't want to make any more enemies. And TJ did like this.
Yeah, people seem to like really respect like them voting for themselves when it's like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. So she calls Hughie to go against her in dirty deeds. There's 3 buried objects in a pile of sand. You got to get 2 out of 3 buried objects into your bucket to win a round, and there's 3 rounds. So it could have been more headbangery, I guess, if people were trying to save it. What do you think of this elimination?
I thought it was like fine. I can respect when they like do like a slight like change to a staple.
Mm-hmm.
So I like had no problems with this. I thought it, like for the most part it was pretty good. I think like this was like the type of thing where like Ravyn was able to like adapt much better than Hughie was, and like Ravyn realized like pretty quickly like, oh, if I just play like a little bit more defense, like I'm stronger. Like I don't need to be like wasting my time digging. And like Hughie had said, like by round 2, I think, like my arms are dead right now. And then she was just continuously digging, where it's like Ravyn kind of started to wait a little bit more. And that was like the strategy there. And again, like I think like the fact that Ravyn had the whole house essentially, or most of the house cheering for her, and Hughie could only really understand Horacio, like bit of an advantage there. But I honestly, I thought this was like a pretty solid elimination where there was strategy and physicality involved.
Yes, it's too bad they weren't equally matched, but for the fact that they weren't, it was still not too overbearing, one side or the other. So Hughie does get the first point. So like I wasn't sure if like maybe Hughie was just going to be able to outmove Ravyn, but then Ravyn gets the second point and then the third point, and so Hughie is going to be leaving the game. TJ says that she is the sweetest contender that they've ever had.
I mean, she's honestly like she's up there.
She's sweet.
She's like very sweet. It's like she's not coming back now.
I don't think so, but she was crying and thanking everyone and loved the experience. And we learned that chaos is going to begin soon. And Corey rolls his eyes. The audacity. He has audacity. All right, next episode, we see Ravyn running back into the house. Corey doesn't trust Ravyn. I understand, like, she did kind of spill the plan, but, like, she's not good at the game. She just didn't understand that she was going to get in trouble. Like, you're smiling. What? Do you think that she's good at the game?
No, I mean, like, that. Yeah, she's just not, like, she's not good, but, yeah.
She could leak a plan, I guess. So like maybe that is untrustworthy in that sense, but like she's just not really a threat. Like she's just kind of dumb. Or just bad at the game. I don't
and even like Moriah, I can't remember if Moriah said that like during the elimination, if she had a confessional, but she was basically like, yeah, like I want Ravyn to win. I want Ravyn to come back because like she's with me and like I like her. She's just like horrible. She's horrible socially. Well, it's a good point, Moriah.
It's true. Like I think she just needs somebody to like take her under her wing. Maybe if like Moriah had a longer time to get used to the world. So she's had like a more full season to like understand how to act in these games. And like you said, Ravyn only had 3 episodes, right?
Yeah, like Ravyn is like truly a rookie. Like Moriah was on 20 episodes last season. So like she spent 2.5 months in the challenge, 3 months maybe. But Ravyn like legitimately has not been on reality TV for more than 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah. And also not even be able to have the full experience because the guy that she came in there with also super new and like didn't pay any attention to her because she was hooking up with someone else. So yeah, it probably wasn't the best learning experience for her. So Cierran tells Ravyn that the girls are happy that she came back. And so like he was giving her some advice as well, basically being like, don't give me more and like don't say anything more to me. Loose lips sink ships if you want for your game. I think she still will look out for him though.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
He's kind of hot. Like in like an overly tattooed guy kind of way. Kyland wants the control portion of the game to come because he's on this season he hasn't played with any of these people before. So he kind of like feels as though he doesn't have anybody that's protecting him or that he's working with really. And so I was like, oh, is Kyland going in this time around? Why are they so obvious with their shit?
I mean, like they want to like tell like the most obvious story, and it's like, hey, like you're highlighting people just out of nowhere. I actually thought they did like a little bit better
because he was in the episode last week. Yes.
Yeah, and like also with James, like James was like pretty highlighted too. So I didn't think like it was without question like James was going to end up in an elimination. Like obviously Hughie was highlighted. So I think like there were a few guys
more than just the usual two, but
yeah. Also, like I didn't know. I figured it would be a guy's elimination, but I didn't know for sure. And like obviously, like Big T was a huge part of the episode. Like I definitely didn't think she was going in, but like I mean Ravyn, like obviously big there. Like she could have gone in again. Zara, Corey Lay was a big part there. So
Corey Lay, I thought had a spike too. I was like,
So
but he might be out like the first one against one of these vets. Like maybe they'll be like, oh, who is it going to be? Let's throw in this dude. It sucks.
Yeah. Or like Corey will probably try to get Zaza in.
No. So we do learn that Corey was kind of throwing Zara's name around. Zara's like kind of irritated by this, especially because he looked at her and was like, no, I'm not putting you in. Like, you're safe with me. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and tries to flip the vote on her. Why waste your social capital to get a failed vote flip?
Yeah, do you think like he initially thought like there was a chance of flipping the vote, and then it just like people were just like no, and then at that point like he was already like a little, like the word's out there, but he couldn't do it.
I don't know why he would. If you're going to try to make a vote flip happen, like you kind of have to know that it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he did say like towards the end of the episode, like my only regret is that like it didn't like I wasn't able to flip the vote. Yeah. Not that like I tried to. So something tells me like maybe he was like close to getting people to flip, and then they like maybe the guys talked to some of the girls and the girls are like, no, you can't do it. Like you got to stick to the plan.
Maybe
like if Jay talked to Michele and Michelle's like, no, put in Ravyn. Don't put in Zara.
Yeah, Zara's really good friends with Olivia, so Olivia would be pissed, right? Who else is she friends with? She seems to be part of like the group of 38.
Yeah, like she could be like the bottom of 38.
Mm-hmm. So obviously Zara is pissed that Corey is, two-faced or whatever, and she's telling this to Horacio. And then Corey and Asaf are sitting in the middle. Like they feel like they're in the middle of these two alliances, that they're sitting pretty. Since when is Asaf and Corey such good friends? You don't see them interacting really.
Yeah.
Like at all.
It came from a different season too.
Yeah.
A secret friendship. Maybe it'll come more to light down the road.
Maybe. Corey's boot episode. Woo. All right, the daily is under control, and it's a swimming challenge, and they're going to have to all jump into the water. They're going to swim to a buoy, dive down, grab a puzzle piece, swim that puzzle piece over to their board. There are 5 boards with, I guess, 4 puzzle pieces on it. There's only 21 players, so 4 people are going to have to go twice, but you can only go a second time after you placed your first puzzle piece in. If they get all 5 in 15 minutes, he will double the prize money, making this a $50,000 challenge. Nurys and Berna can't swim very well, so this was stated at the beginning when they're trying to figure out strategy on how to get these pieces. But Nurys has Scuba Nelly's good luck charm, some sort of necklace to help her swim.
Yeah, didn't do too well. She didn't have much luck there, but
Yeah, I would probably get something from Wes maybe if you want to.
get Wes to give you a necklace. But yeah, my favorite part of like the planning was Hughie, where it's like Horacio, I think, asked, like, all right, like who are like the best swimmers here? And like Cierran, Callum raised their hands, like Jay.
Jay and
And
Emmanuel.
yeah, so like those guys raise their hand, and Hughie's like, yeah, like I'm a really good swimmer too. Like I'm happy to go twice. And like they're like everyone's like making faces at him, and they're like, like no, not Hughie, just like expecting nothing out of him. And then Hughie's like, no, like I'm good. Like don't worry, like I can do it. And Horacio's like, okay, yeah, like Hughie too, but like mainly those four guys. Like we'll have the four main guys. I'm like, Hughie, if you want to, like, yeah, we'll see. And they're just like giving Hughie no mind there. I felt bad for him. Like, I don't think Hughie is like a horrible competitor.
No, but he's just kind of loud and annoying a little bit, and he does mess up sometimes.
Yeah, he's like a little bit like goofy and like clumsy, but like he is like decently strong. And I feel like he is like good in the water too. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. They just like people were like giving him like the side eye, and Callum is like, nah.
Hughie. I hope he comes back. I hope this
I think
isn't
he will.
tainted his challenge experience.
I think of all the people that have left thus far, like he is definitely the most likely to come back.
So Zara is a Pisces, and so she's like a fish. You're a Pisces. Are you a really good swimmer?
I'm pretty good in the water. I'm more good with like, I would be really good at going like under the water to get the pieces. Like I can hold my breath for a while, and I'm like, I can swim far underwater. I'm not like the best like long distance swimmer, but it's like I'm pretty decent in the water.
Because like I've been kind of looking at like water signs, and so like on like the last gasp on Survivor, a lot of people that win that one are water signs. So I just think it's very interesting because like Carla was a Pisces, Owen was a Cancer, which is a water sign. I think Jam Jam also won that one. I think he's also a Cancer. And so I just was like, it's interesting that the water signs are actually good in the water. And I don't love the water. Like I've taken swimming lessons so I can swim, but like I would prefer to be up high than in the water.
Oh no, I'm the opposite. Like I would rather, honestly, I'd rather be in the water than on the land. But like definitely like water over heights for me 100%.
Really? And like, are you afraid of heights or no?
I'm terrified of heights.
Really?
But like that challenge from Survivor, like if I could do any challenge on like any of these shows, it would be the last gasp challenge. Like I want to try that so badly.
I think I would hate that one.
I swear I would win it.
I hate it. Oh, we have some friends joining us late here. Hi, reality fan. Hi, link competition, making it live. That's great. Yeah. Thanks for being here. I think it's so wild though. Like I would never want to do the last gasp. Like I do it because it's nostalgic, of course, and like it's like, oh my god, a classic Survivor challenge. But I think I would hate it, and I don't think there was any chance that I would win. I'd not be beating the tide.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would do well on it. I think like I would have loved this daily challenge to do today, like the one that we saw today in the water.
I think I can do that one. I can swim with a freaking life vest. Yeah. Like
honestly, I feel like this daily was like seemed like pretty easy.
I thought it was pretty easy too.
And like the fact that they only completed it by like 5 seconds, 3 seconds, just like I was a bit surprised because like I don't understand why didn't Ed just go help Nurys like 5 minutes earlier?
I'm not sure. I was trying to figure that out as well. Like maybe he thought he wasn't allowed to go back out until everybody came back in. Like I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I was confused by that because like if people were allowed to help, well, you think like when there was like 5 minutes left, they're like, okay, you can go help Nurys now.
Yeah, like it just seemed odd to me too. I was trying to justify why he didn't go out sooner because he got to his board quickly. Yeah,
look, if I were planning that, I would say, all right, best swimmers just go help the weakest swimmers immediately. And like,
well, yeah, like why couldn't they just all just go down, unclip them all, and everybody just swim a piece over?
Yeah,
but it didn't seem that hard. But like obviously I wasn't there, and I felt really bad for Nurys because she kept on going down. You can see her going down, but like she wasn't actually going down, and so she wasn't able to. She just needed to pull herself down on that damn rope like for 2 pulls, and she would have been at the piece. But yeah, she didn't allow herself to just get down and pull that damn rope.
Yeah.
I mean, easier said than done. But I used to throw things at the bottom of the pool and do handstands at the bottom of the pool, so. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. I think like it's almost entirely mental though. Like obviously like everyone else was able to do it. So the fact that like going into it, she was saying like, yeah, I'm probably the weakest swimmer here and like not comfortable in the water. And then like you're in the water and everyone's doing it. Like it probably got in her head and like
even Berna, who's also scared of it, was able to do it.
Yeah. And I know like, I think Big T and Melissa like they had like failed like a couple times, but then they were ultimately able to get the piece. And
Big T was good at swimming, remember?
Yeah, I remember her being a good swimmer her last season. But yeah, I mean, it always sucks when you're like the one person that can't do it. Like, I didn't actually think she was in any danger, but
right, no, just like morale and like pride, her pride. So lifeguard Ed is coming to save Nurys. They did a little graphic there. I'm sure you enjoyed.
Yeah, it was fun.
So they have to now, after they get, so Ed dives down, unclips her piece, Nurys swims her piece over to the puzzle boards. Then they have to take all the puzzle boards and clip it to like the main mother platform. And they had to do that still. And they only had less than 2 minutes to get those all clipped in. But they managed to do it with like 3 seconds to spare. I feel like that was a convenient clock timer.
Yeah, you think like there was really like 8 minutes left and they just like wanted to make it look intense?
Or was it past the time? Like I think I think that they just put the 3, 2, and
it's definitely possible.
You know what these people are like. So they do manage to get it done, making them richer. They have $50,000 more, and that brings their total up to $406,000. And TJ says it's going to be a male elimination this time around. Why did I write Ed Aquaman? Someone calling him that? Oh, Kieran was saying you're Aquaman. What'd you get? 3 pieces? And then I was like, oh yeah, you got 2.
Yeah.
And then it was the Big T coming out party. All the boys were dressed in drag. And it was really nice to see everybody wanting to support Big T. We learned that Big T was in a relationship with a woman that had just recently ended. And I don't think she said she came out to her family yet, but she definitely she felt it was time to come out to her friends of the challenge. It was nice to see her feeling like herself and that she felt comfortable in being fully herself.
Yeah, and like it being like very much like celebrated by the entire cast was like super nice to see. And like obviously it meant a lot to her. Like she was like very emotional in a good way, which was awesome. Like you don't like, I mean, we've gotten like more kind of scenes like that like in recent years, but like it is like pretty rare for like us to get like 10-minute scenes like this on reality TV. So it was really good moment. Like everyone was like super chill. There was no fighting. It was all like happiness, like fun, and like all about Big T, which was like really nice to like actually like give her that moment without like something disrupting it.
Or something like a big fight happening and it seals the moment. Melissa gives a nice toast to Big T, and they make her a cake that's actually just a big T, a capital T, and they start singing Happy Being You. And I did get a little teary-eyed, not gonna lie. So did Big T. It was a sweet moment, and I was happy that they showed it on the show. Yeah. And they named it I'm Coming Out. So they actually really were celebrating Big T. Big time. Yeah. Big T, big time. Hughie decides to get a little messy, and he starts asking some questions while everybody's a little bit tipsy, such as, who do you think is going home tonight? And who's most likely to cheat on their person back home?
Yeah, that was funny. And like they did like clearly allude to like Callum. Like when Hughie asked that, it was like zooming in on Callum. It's like, all right, like I get it. Like, yeah, like do that, but like how about Moriah too? Like show them both. And they did ultimately like show Moriah after and gave her like the whole montage. So there was like enough there. But I did think like production did a good job with this episode where like Hughie asked that question, and then the next like 10 minutes were Callum and Michele, and then Moriah and James with the montage of bananas with like all the pictures and clips of them like from last season. So like production like had their fun with that. And honestly, I have a feeling Bananas is not going to be happy about this episode. He's not doing his podcast for this season, which probably is partly due to this, like the fact that like the Moriah stuff. But like something tells me he is not going to be happy that
well, it's like he thinks that she's using him for a storyline, whatever, but like, and that's why I guess he doesn't want to ever have his business kind of on the show. But it's kind of like you still did it, so like it's part of her actual life. He's just kind of annoying that he's not going to allow her to get any more shine from their relationship. It's just a little bit of an eye roll.
Yeah.
So Zara obviously wants Corey to be going in. She's talking to James and Moriah and Cierran and Ravyn. And then we cut to a scene that you're speaking of with Kyland and him being smitten with Michele. And then he wakes up and thinks about Michele. And he goes to sleep thinking about Michele. And it's all Michele, 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 even though he has a girlfriend at home.
Yeah. He's on the phone with his girlfriend and he's thinking about Michele.
Ooh, and he didn't really explain, in my opinion, what his situationship is. Like, it's full-fledged girlfriend, right?
I mean, when he talked to her on Zoom, it like said Callum's girlfriend, and he said that like he loves her. So it definitely seems like a girlfriend.
So James and Moriah are really flirty, and we finally see the scene where she like gets in his bed and just talks about it. They're very cute together. I like their vibe. Sue me, I do. And she said that she never was official with Johnny Bananas. After she has a little overnight session with James. She goes crying to Nurys about the situation. Nurys does say something that I think that was really truthful. She's like, listen, like you really light up when you're with James, like your personality comes out, you're really fun. And the fact that you've never made it official with Bananas means that there's something that was stopping you from making that happen. And she was kind of agreeing with that. So like, why did she make it official if he was the one or the right now?
Yeah. And I definitely agree with like most of that. Like, I mean, I don't know like what their relationship is like. Like, I don't know if like Bananas didn't want to make it official as well. So, I mean, I can't speak too much on that, but what I do feel is that Moriah is much more enjoyable for me to watch this season. Like, yeah. I'm seeing a different side of her just as a viewer. Like she seems happier, like she seems more fun. Like her personality like
being
more.
Between Fessy and Bananas the whole season.
Yeah, like, honestly, last season I found her to be like very boring, and part of that was obviously due to it being her first time on reality TV, but also like the Bananas and Fessy of it all like wasn't doing it for me. And she is like, I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan of her, but like I'm liking her this season. Like she is someone I'd be like happy with going far. Like I'd be happy to see her come back again. And like her. Yeah, like I could see myself like really liking her if she like keeps like this up.
So Siani thought that Moriah's segment was overkill, like he was on House of Villains and flirting with Corinne. He couldn't care less, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know what the time frame of the filming was. Was it filmed before or after this one already filmed but just hadn't aired?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Probably around the same time.
It definitely, yeah, I don't know. Someone might know, but I don't know. Yes, no, agreed, Jorge, that Moriah said that she didn't want to make it official, and it's kind of like, why not? Like, what was going on? Like, why didn't you want to make it official and be in an official relationship with this person? It's like something was holding you back. So, why didn't it happen? It's your gut saying, like, it's not the guy for you right now. Ravyn's talking to Corey, and Ravyn has heard Corey's name being floated out by Zara, but she's learned to not say a word. But then Michele bolts on in, and she's like, yeah, I've been hearing your name. And then Ravyn's like, well, I've been hearing a lot of names. And I'm like, that sounds worse. That, like, you said you haven't heard any names, and now you said you've been hearing a lot of names. Like, it just looks like you're lying, Ravyn.
Yeah. I kind of felt bad for her because, like, she didn't want to do too much and, like, didn't realize, like, oh, like, Michele's going to come in and, like, basically expose the fact that I knew that his name was said. So, yeah, now, like, Ravyn does look, like, even more snaky when, like, really she was, like, trying to do the right thing. And it's just, like, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. And I did feel, like, a little bit bad. And, like, I could see, like, again, like, her being in a position next week where it's like, all right, like, we just can't trust Ravyn. Like, she's too all over the place, even when she's trying not to be.
Poor girl. Nurys doesn't want Corey to go down and lose because, like, they're already losing. Chauncy was one of their USA numbers, and then if they lose another one with Corey, like, they don't want to be going down too many US numbers. So, I mean, obviously, you should be wanting to keep your alliance together, even though I find it annoying. Like, if you're playing the game, keep your damn alliance.
Yeah.
The Ride or Dies girls are working together, so that being Moriah, Nurys, Colleen, Olivia, Ravyn, and Michele. And then, so that group is also working with Jay, Kyland, Horacio, Ed, Asaf, and Corey. It's quite a big group. But she wants to keep her numbers, and I think it's a smart thing to do in the game. It's just boring for TV.
Yeah.
So they're saying that we're going to say Hughie's name, not Corey's. Now, couldn't they just say somebody else's name? Like, why does it have to be Hughie's even? Just the less blood and not in a relationship?
Yeah.
Somebody else they could say?
Also, I think that's part of it. And then the other part is if they say someone else, like if they say James.
And they come back.
And it's a physical elimination and James says, all right, I'll go against Jay. Where it's like, if Jay is going to go in, like he'd rather go against Hughie than James or Callum. So I think that's part of it there. It's like, you know what, like Hughie's going to go anyways, like soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like we might as well protect ourselves and give us the, like Kyland ultimately got called out. Like I'm sure Kyland would rather go against Hughie than James or Callum in most eliminations.
100%. So they're at the deliberation and Hughie's name comes up and he's pissed and he says that he has a lot to offer the group. And who suggested it? The why are you an asset circle jerk moment, the narcissist circle.
I don't it was a guy that recommended it. I can't remember who. Was it Cierran? I think it might have been Cierran.
Maybe. It was hilarious though, because they're just like, you know, like I'm well-rounded, I'm like I'm strong, and it's like all the girls are just like.
It was like moments like that that just like show like why like I love the women on the show so much more than the men. Like the men are just like so serious and like have to like they have this like masculine need to like prove their worth, and the women are just like rolling their eyes and like laughing at these dudes like, no, we don't actually care. You guys look like idiots. Asaf, okay.
Asaf. I can see Asaf doing it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like one by one, like each of these dudes are like, I'm loyal, like I'm I'm strong, I'm good at this, and like none of the women actually care. So like I love that. We're just like guys on the show can be so lame.
Yes, I did like the asset combo. It was hilarious because of the women being spiced back and forth with like their commentary. But then Corey's saying that he offers empathy and support. Is he just trolling?
I think he was just like trying to be like super like diplomatic because like he knew he was up for grabs and like he was trying to be like the anti like Chauncy, like and like not be like not get people like riled up and Like I can appreciate what he was like trying to do, but like I don't know.
What happened with James getting pissed that his name was called? Like Callum called his name. Like what? I kind of missed what happened there, and then I just didn't rewind because there was just so much. It was in that moment where the TV went down.
Yeah, so James was like tipped off that his name was being floated around as like the girls were saying, a bunch of the girls were saying, like, why do we have to put in Hughie or Corey? Like, why can't we put in James or Cierran? And like a bunch of the girls said, like, I think Olivia was the one. Like they asked Olivia, like, hey, like, who would you want to go in? And Olivia said, honestly, like, if it was up to me, I'd throw in James. And then a few of the other women said that they agreed with that. And then it got back to James. And James was just like freaking out. He's like, are you fucking serious? You're going to throw my name in? Like, I'm going to go crazy on everyone. Dude, James, relax. But it was like pretty funny.
So is that who everybody ended up voting for? Okay, so we get to the actual voting section. Did I miss anything else? Because it might have been a lag.
I don't think so.
So we're at the arena, and Hughie starts them off and says Moriah. Emmanuel says Melissa. James says Callum. Hughie says Kyland. Was it someone else? Or did Moriah say Hughie? What happened?
It was a guy's elimination, so the girls had.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Moriah must have said Hughie.
Yeah, Moriah started off with Hughie.
Hughie said Kyland. Zara said Hughie. Kyland said Hughie. Oh, sorry, no. Zara said Corey. Horacio said Hughie. Colleen said Hughie. Pretty much everyone said Hughie except for Corey said Asaf. So there were some burn votes also going on.
It was all stray votes, and then everyone else was for Hughie.
And Nurys thought it was going to be James, but I guess it got switched back before they told her, but she still followed suit and did Hughie. I don't know if I like this also open voting because like
I don't like it.
It would be great if she had to dig her heels down and write on a board who she thought it was going to be and like be like have to face the music.
Yeah, like
kind of like the traders, right?
If
how the traders go around and they just have to stick to who they decide to vote for.
That would be better. Like anonymous voting, again, is like definitely my preference because then you can actually vote for other like people that are in power without getting caught. The traders format is good. But at the same time, like you're still going to be somewhat safe because like you don't want like that person to win and come after you. But anonymous voting, like they won't know it's you. Like you can hide it. So I like that more. But yeah, the problem with this is like once like someone starts getting votes, like they're screwed. Like
pile on.
Yeah, you just pile on. Like nobody's going to want to piss off someone. But I like every single vote for the first 4 votes would have been more interesting if it was anonymous. Like there's no way it would have been 23-1 or 18-3 or whatever. It's like just no way.
No, it definitely would be better. Even Berna though decided to vote for Hughie because Hughie said if you have to vote for me to keep your position in the game, it is okay. So Hughie is going to be going down to the sand and he chooses Kyland to come down to face off against. And they're going to be playing How I Roll. They basically have a ball that they put down this cylinder and roll it into a box on the end. And there is, I don't know how many boxes there were. 8?
Yeah, 6? 8 or 9. There was a.
Oh no! Wait. Actually, if I think about how many things,
maybe there's
10. 10 might be a better number. To see if I still have it up here. I'll rewind it for 1 second.
I actually liked Hughie calling out Kyland here. Like I respected that where it's like, yeah, like Kyland is like a very good competitor, but like similar to what Chauncy did with calling out James, like, yeah, like these guys are like big, strong dudes, but like if you take them out, like you do gain a lot of power. And like it's like a move that like you either you either go home against a really strong competitor and like prove like you're not scared.
Mm-hmm.
But if you win, like the upside is so big. And like I also like Hughie just like taking that shot and like telling them like you guys might think I'm weak, but like I'm not scared of you. So I liked it. Like I liked the move there, and
I kind of thought that Hughie was going to end up winning because there was a few times where, okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was 9.
Yeah.
9 bowls. Yeah, where like there's a few points where Hughie wasn't winning, but he was either equal or just like 1 or 2 behind, and then Kyland started losing his accuracy, kind of flailing a little bit. And so I was wondering if it was going to be an upset.
Yeah, and like when you walk into the arena and you see like a contraption like that, like you know it's not going to be something physical.
It was
So,
a little bit in the end, just having to run.
No, yeah, I mean like not
yeah,
like
yeah.
physical like contact.
Yeah.
So it's like why not take a shot at like the biggest dude on the other side of the house? And it's like, yeah, like if you take Kyland out, you go back in, the UK side gets like they keep their numbers. US loses a valuable number. So I think that was smart. Like obviously, like if you show up and there's a pole in the middle of the ground and nothing else there, like yeah, I'm not calling out Kyland then, but I thought it was the right decision, like given the information that he had.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't want to take any of the UK people. I mean maybe he could have done like a J. But Kyland, he did say earlier in the episode he didn't really have any ties or friends with anybody, so it was the perfect person to give it a go. Not really sure how capable he is. It's not a headbanger, so like he has a better shot. So, so Danny says this elimination was great, great watch. I wasn't 100% sure Kylie would win. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, this was a great elimination.
Yeah, it's good. Anybody could have done well for sure. So Kylan was comparing himself to Jordan, though, being like, when Jordan won his like first whatever final, he lost, or 2 of his finals, he lost, or he won 2 eliminations in the season. So he's thinking that it's on his way. Do you think that they put this in because he's going to win?
Oh, I was actually getting the vibe like, are they putting this in because like Kyland is going to go against Jordan at some point?
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. Where it's like, oh, Kyland's like hyping up Jordan, either like. Jordan is going to like.
He's not doing Emmanuel, you don't think? Or maybe multiple eliminations?
I feel like if Jordan has a choice, he'll choose Emmanuel. But I just don't know like what the format will be. Like if the vet will have a choice. But I could see a scenario where like Kyland winds up in an elimination against Jordan.
I think when he watched all the seasons up until like 36 or something. Yeah. No, up until Total Madness, I think he just watched all the seasons and took like notes. So, which season was it? The Flip the Skulls Final Reckoning?
Flip the Skulls? No, that was Free Agents.
Right? Yeah, and I don't remember what number that is, but he probably just recently saw that. That was pretty epic. That's when most people started to really appreciate Jordan. Or even one of the War of the Worlds. He was kind of...
Well, War of the Worlds 2 is when Jordan won multiple eliminations. I was thinking like Dirty 30, Jordan won, but I can't remember if he won 2 eliminations or just 1. But like in Global, Jordan only won 1 elimination. I can't remember what the other season Jordan won was. Do you remember what his other win was? Oh, X's he won with Sarah.
With Sarah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think they were in multiple eliminations.
They might have been in 2 though.
They beat Zach and John A. I don't know. I can't remember if they were in a second one. Maybe they were.
It's very possible that they went up against like Leroy or something. I don't fully remember that season.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kyland does end up winning. Hughie wasn't that far behind. It was a good elimination, so I was happy to see it go down. I kind of wanted Hughie to win just because like I just wish the underdogs sometimes they get that win. They were all just like so down on him, and like he was having to try to prove himself. And I wish that he had in this elimination, unfortunately. But Hughie feels sad, but he's happy that he came. And so that's the end of Hughie.
Yeah.
Justice for Hughie.
I liked Kyland like giving respect to Hughie on the way out too. Like right after the elimination, like Kyland like said to everyone, all the other competitors, like, hey, like Hughie's no joke. Like he like is a competitor, and like don't underestimate him in the future.
Is Hughie the MVP of this episode?
I mean, it's hard to give MVP to the person that goes home. I would say like probably got to go to Big T, right, for the second half at least.
Yeah, Big T for the second half. There was no fights in the second episode, right?
No, I don't think so.
And who do you think our MVP is for episode 5?
I mean, like Ravyn won the elimination, but she was just way too sloppy. I think Michele did really good in the daily.
Oh,
obviously.
it's directing people. Yeah, I could put Michele there.
And like strategically, it was like pretty straightforward. I mean, I didn't love the women all burning votes. I wouldn't really give it to any women for that. Corey had a plan, but it just didn't work. So I think Michele is
Michele for sure. The fact that she was able to get them that win and allow them to come together, that was the first win that they got. And so I give Michele getting them on that winning streak as the MVP. Well, that's it, Matthew. I know we talked a lot. Anything we missed?
Probably. I mean, we had 2.5 hours, but like it's too hard to remember it all.
3 hours. What do you mean 2.5?
Oh, sorry, 3 hours. 3 hours of challenge. 1:50 here. I think 5 hours of the challenge is plenty. Plenty for one night.
Well, thank you for suffering through it with me. Thank you, everybody here in the chat, for being here. I know it's late for everyone, but when they do this to us, we come on late.
And again, like I will take this over non-elimination. So if whoever comes in next week, Tori comes in next week, if she wins her elimination if she loses her elimination and nobody goes home, give us another double episode. Like I need the episode to end with someone going home.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 hour, 1.5, 3 hours, we need someone to go home. We don't want to leave. We don't want to end on a to be continued or a non-elimination.
100% agree. Do you think they're going to do more double episodes?
I would say if we get more double episodes, I think it's a sign that a vet will be losing an elimination.
Right. Yeah.
But otherwise, I think we'll probably go back to like mostly singles.
Gotcha. Well, I agree. Well, we'll be back next week sometime, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let us know. What do we want to know? What do we want to know?
Who do you think will be the first vets coming into the game?
People are saying Jordan.
Jordan, and which woman? I feel like Jordan will come in with Kaz, just because Kaz.
They just won.
Yeah, and also like, why would she come in with anyone else? Like, why would she come in with like Brad or Devin, who she's never met?
Well, yeah, she just won with Jordan, so like they could be like the most recent winners of the Challenge Global. Like you're gonna have to go through them if you want your place in the.
Yeah,
you know.
Like personally, I think it's gonna be like Jordan and Kaz together, Tori and Devin together, Kara and CT together.
Have they ever won together? Just out of curiosity.
Kara and CT. No, but they're like Boston strong, like friends. And then Laurel with like
Brad
probably.
I guess
and
they've
then,
been on seasons together.
Yeah, and then Casey with Darrell, just because like they know each other at least. I feel like that just makes the most sense.
Or Sophie does say maybe Jordan and Laurel. But it's the Kaz thing, making Kaz have a place.
Yeah, like why is Kaz gonna like randomly show up?
Oh, well, she might maybe Kaz and Darrell.
I
they
guess
were on the season together.
I guess, but I don't know. I feel like it just makes way more sense to do Jordan and Kaz together.
But if they want to go with a bang, Jordan and Laurel might be like, whoa. Like I don't know if Kaz will be that scary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like Kaz, like I don't know, like I know she's won twice, but she's like definitely still like more unproven, especially in
a little bit
eliminations.
meeker. Like I know she
Yeah.
does some Muay Thai, but like I'm not scared of Kaz. Okie dokie. Well, thanks again, Matthew. Thanks everybody in the chat. We'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao.